So I'm Ian Morris and a member of Finchley Filmmakers, and my film this year that won 4-star is Caves and Chimneys. I filmed it on location in Cappadocia in central Turkey a couple of years ago, and although it was part of a holiday, I soon realised that this would make a fantastic film. Not least because there was interest both up in the air from the balloons, amazing views of this volcanic landscape, the soft rock, amazing views, but also underground as well. The parallel story of how people lived in caves below the ground, either to escape from invaders or even just because it was more comfortable there. So it looked a very filmic topic. I shot a lot of film, a lot of video film, and of course there was a mass to look at. What I hadn't actually done, which I suppose you normally should do on a documentary, is actually do the research before. So in fact, I had a lot of material and had to do the research actually at the editing stage.
I want to ask you something now. The balloons were terrifically effective. A lot of your filming is from balloons and showing the other balloons. Were you tempted to concentrate more on the balloons or on the history of the area?
Yes, well, you're absolutely right, Michael. The balloons themselves are fascinating, and it's a great experience, you know, as a tourist, let alone as a filmmaker, to go up in those balloons at 5 o'clock in the morning as the sun is rising. It's an amazing experience and sight. So I have to say, while I was up there, yes, I was very, very tempted to get balloon to balloon shots and shots down onto balloons below me. It was very, very tempting. At the same time, I was aware that the reason that my wife and I had gone there was actually because of the amazing landscape. So as viewers will see in the film, I did manage additionally to produce a lot of film of this incredible landscape itself, and in fact sometimes deliberately tried to avoid other balloons being in shot. And so in fact some of the film, it looks as if it's been shot from a drone, whereas in fact I've just captured the 10 seconds of clear view between when one balloon was passing and another was passing. It was quite challenging at the editing stage to find those 10 seconds, and sometimes one had to, let's say on the timeline, stretch it out a bit just to make it sufficient before another balloon came into shot. So yes, that was indeed the balance between the other balloons and the landscape.
You do refer to balloons anyway, so you explain their presence very well, actually. So, and then you show the gas being, so we see how the thing works. But your interior shots were amazing. Now, what about exposure in there? I think you get a bit more noise. Obviously, you've had to rack your gain up, did you, inside these caves?
I think probably the biggest filming challenge was definitely in the caves underground, because the lighting was quite minimal. There were a few tungsten light bulbs down there, and that was just about it. I have to be honest to say, when I got the film back, the video back, the colour temperature was all over the place, but thanks to the colour correction, the colour grading on Final Cut Pro, which I find superb, I was able to fix that, so now the lighting looks right. The problem was the actual levels, the luminance levels, and this was filmed a couple of years ago on a camera that is less capable of low light shooting than my existing equipment. So yes, it does look quite grainy, but the shots are not terribly long, and I think that one has the sense that the interest in the interiors, and then layered with a voiceover which is informative, I think somehow, I hope that the audience is forgiving of the less than perfect exposure.
I think it helps, actually, because you realise how dark and gloomy it is in there. No, it doesn't matter at all. But did you, as a technical question, did you have to whack your gain up to get an exposure? You couldn't have done it just on an F2 or whatever.
So it was certainly at maximum aperture of my camera, which is about f1.8, but additionally, absolutely full gain, 18 dB. Not a place I like to generally live indoors, but actually I didn't have additional lighting with me, nor in fact could it have reached the depth of those caves. So it was all down to doing the best I could.
On the question of colour temperature, you said there was some tungsten light. It wasn't mixed with daylight, was it?
Not at all, because...
You could just set it at 3,000 Kelvin then. Why did you have a problem with colour temperature?
I think actually it was more likely that my camera, because of the low lighting, was struggling to figure out what exactly is the right colour temperature. But I used the rule that I always do when I'm slightly off on colour temperature, and that is, look at the people in the shot, get the skin tone right, because if that looks right, nobody knows whether the blue they're wearing is greener or redder, because there's no reference. Get the skin tone right, everybody's happy. And that was a rule that seems to still work even today.
Now your narration is very good, very informative, nicely spoken. You're not obviously reading it. I find that narration usually in amateur films is let down by the narration. Usually filmmakers doing their own narration is never a good idea. Yours, it works well because it sounds like you're not the filmmaker, which is good.
Yes. No, thank you. It's good to hear the feedback on the commentary. I worked quite hard on that, and it was repeatedly rewritten to sound as if it was chatty and informative. There were many takes, of course, which are not present in the final film. But I think it's a good point about narration. I have also, as you, noticed that some non-professional commentaries do sound, very stodgy and so on. And I wanted to get a flow there. I was also, actually, I have to say, I also had another advantage. A number of years ago, a very good family friend of ours, a professional actor, did some voiceovers for me. And I watched and listened very carefully about how he worked, how he took his script, and how he marked pauses in the script. And that was sort of in my mind when I was producing the script and reading it. And I thought, how would our friend do that? And did my version of it. So hopefully, if some of that comes across, then I'm very happy.
It worked very well, I thought. It's still fairly formal. To my view, it was very formal still there. Sometimes it helps if you're looking at the film and you can talk about the film sometimes, as long as you're not, there's no noise, which there isn't now. Well, it used to be with the projectors going along, of course. It was awful to talk to a film because there was a clatter of the projector.
Yes.
Sometimes it helps to talk to almost to the image, actually. Did you do that or not?
Well, so in fact, because for technical reasons, I recorded the commentary as a separate piece of work. I had the film sort of running just on the screen to get the pacing right. But of course, as you know, and all our filmmaking colleagues know, of course, although you might try and roughly synchronize it as the film is running, when it's on the timeline, sometimes you do have to shift it 6 frames here or 6 there, just to land the words at a certain moment on the screen. So of course that's right, but I think this is normal editing.